Hey, you there. You look like a nerd. Is this you? Nah, don't lie to me. I ain't smell it on you. I saw you buying Funko Pops. Get over here. I got something to show you. Power scaling to the human brain is what the crack cocaine that the CIA created was to predominantly black neighborhoods. It will ruin your life. We've all asked the question, who would win in a fight? And then we would proceed to argue with our friends over which fictional character was better. Now, with the invention of the internet, we no longer have to have these fun thought exercises with our friends. We can now argue with strangers whose entire personality is who their favorite fictional character could beat in a fight. Power scaling is dumb, and today I'm going to explain why I think that power scaling is dumb and stupid. For those of you that know what parental love feels like, power scaling is the act of taking two fictional characters of either the same series or separate ones and using math, physics, and Rev says Desu mental gymnastics, seeing who would win in a fight. Now there's a couple terms I need to teach you because I'm going to be bringing it up many times throughout this video, and if I have to suffer knowing this nerd jargon, then so do you. Feats.
And I'm not talking the kind.
A feat in regards to power scaling is something that a character has done before that showcases their power, abilities, or techniques.
Anti-feat.
Fucking stupid name. An anti-feat is a showcase of a character's failures in regards to their canon. For example, Peter Griffin being able to weave the fabric of reality by using cutaway gags.
Hey Goku, this reminds me of the time your balls exploded.
But losing in a fist fight with a chicken. There's a bunch of other bullshit words that power scalers use that are just an excuse to let their favorite character win. Okay, so now that you're all caught up, pop quiz. If John Fortnite is mountain level but uses his super secret move, and that temporarily boosts his speed to massively faster than light, and he attacks a street level Joe Swanson who possesses the hack's no ability, which literally stops everything, how would you cope and mold John Fortnite into winning the fight because he has prep time? If that sounds moronic to you, then we need to talk about feats, power levels, and speed tiers. Here is the metrics that power scalers use when determining who would win in a versus battle. I'll just give you a second to let you read them, because there's a lot of them. Okay, in the bin. When it comes to tiers, power scalers will always let you know that they are calculating them based on physics and math.
200 trillion light years wide. Instead, we're going to look at our observable universe, which is 46.5 billion light years.
Professor Vaughn is talking to Silver, and he mentions the dimensional matrix. The dimensional matrix is string theory terminology because you're talking about matrices.
By measuring the size of the island and comparing it to the clouds above, we can determine they dispersed over 63 trillion kilograms of water.
That's the weight of the Great Pyramid of Giza! 12,000 of them!
And they are getting all of this information from the source material, aka feats. We got speed feats, power feats, anti-feats, hacks feats, battle IQ feats, and my feats. Every tier represents what a character could realistically destroy and or some arbitrary speed that they can move faster than. So we start at the bottom of the tiering spectrum with the most interesting categories. And they're interesting because they allow for fun, creative fights. So for power levels, the sweet spot is between low hypoverse and planet level. Same goes for speed. In between immobile and supersonic, I'm chilling, smoking that chronic. If we go any higher, I want to die. Anything above these feat levels ends up boiling down to bigger number win.
I like it when number big. Punch hard, run fast, big strong.
You're telling me that Superman could destroy a multiverse? Well, edgy anime boy 13, he can destroy a super mega giga ultra hyper omniverse.
Man, this sucks. Breaking Bad really fell off.
Checkmate, liberals. Now, I hate every single type of fan power scaling, whether it be within the same series or cross universes, because a majority of power scalers' mothers drank while pregnant. If I were to scale them, an anti-feat would be reading comprehension. In regards to cross-universe battles, the author did not write their story with power scaling in mind. The author doesn't care if their characters could beat Goku, because Goku is not in their story. Does Walter White scale above Gojo with prep time? No.
Hey, Mr. White, you take the amplified and the reversal and use it to create imaginary mass. Imaginary technique. Hollow Pinkman. Bitch.
All of these versus fight channels that you get your opinions from because, let's be honest, most power scalers have not seen the source material, hyper-focus on who the winner is and not why the winner is. the winner. Characters are strong because of what they are, not what they do. Take Single Strike Man, for example. Saitama, by all accounts, is a gag character. His bit is that he is the strongest. He destroys everything in show. But One Punch Man is not the story of the world's strongest man. It's a tale about dissatisfaction, about people rising up against insurmountable odds, and also some pretty dope-ass fights. Saitama is a god, but at the same time, he is uncomfortably human. One Punch Man is about finding a reason to keep going when your life becomes boring, meaningless. When you can do everything, all of a sudden, you don't want to do anything. And that wouldn't work in this story of gods and monsters and sperm men if he wasn't the strongest character in the universe. Using feats as a way to determine one's power is inherently flawed because the authors did not put those characters in those situations to be scaled. They did it because it activates the neurons in our monkey brains that goes, oh my god, that's a cool fight. If you're telling an action story, a great way to progress the narrative is through the battles. Hunter x Hunter is one of my favorite series because all of the crazy powers that the characters possess tie directly to who they are as people. Guys, look at this. I got the figures and I got all of the manga. Go ahead and power scale my grip strength.
That takes a lot of energy.
Gon is a lovable idiot who's very straightforward in his motivations. His powers mostly revolve around punching things really hard. Killua is a little boy raised since childhood to be an assassin and tortured with electricity. Therefore, his powers involve him inflicting the same pain on others using electricity. And Kurapika, edgy anime boy bent on revenge at any cost. Except for his friends. He's also hyper-intelligent and analytical, meaning that his powers require 3 years of schooling and a doctorate to even start to understand. He is broken, but only in hyper-specific circumstances or at great detriment to himself. He has a power that is, he can access all of the power, but every second that it's active, it takes an hour off of his life. He can bind anybody in unbreakable chains that nullify their ability, but if he uses it on anyone but the 12 people he wants revenge on, then it will kill him. Kurapika wins because he is so driven by anger that he doesn't care about his own life. He will throw it away in pursuit of his goals. Nen as a power system is so good because it allows so much expression of character through battles. It also has an insane amount of rules, and it wouldn't work if you removed a character from Hunter x Hunter and put them up against another power system. It's not designed like that. A character's win-loss ratio is determined by where the author wants to take the story. I know power scalers are sick of hearing this, but Stan Lee said it best. Hey, it's me, Stan Lee. So true. Throwing out everything a character is and boiling them down to a ranking on a tier list is bad and stupid. Batman, with prep time of course, according to the tier list, is solar system level. I'm sorry, but Batman is just a dude. Like, he's a really strong and smart dude, but at the end of the day, he's still just a dude. What makes Batman interesting is that he is a human amongst gods. But because feats are all that matter when you power scale, we lose that human character and end up with a cope machine. Prep time, prep time. Do they beat Batman with prep time? If I have to hear that one more time from you mouth-breathing mongoloids, I am going to turn into Lay Epic Joker. You wanna know how I got AIDS? Now, you will hear the word prep time in reference to Batman a lot, because in order to beat his villains, he needs to be smarter, resulting in him needing to prepare for every contingency. And that works. He wins within the context of his stories because he is the main character. It would be a pretty short story if Batman died because he was scaled wrong. But as long as these feats and prep time stays consistent within his stories, it works. Batman beats Superman because it's awesome. And it's because the story in which this is told is not about who's stronger, or your favorite, or who can go 80,000 megashits per second when scaled correctly. It's a battle of ideals. If we used power scaling logic and real-world physics to determine this fight, Batman, 11 out of 10 times, becomes a small bloody bat stain. If we're not emotionally invested in who is fighting and why, what is the point of having them fight at all? Why not just grab a stick and a rock and just start smashing them together? Actually, you know what? Never mind. Power scalers would find a way to scale that and show that the stick actually had multiple anti-feats against the rock, and the rock was going light speed. Speaking of anti-feats, oh my god, do I hate them. Anti-feats only exist because power scalers need their favorite characters to win. And pointing out that a character couldn't do this thing because of story reasons is a pretty easy way of doing that. I will see JJK fans froth at the fucking mouth that the main villain that we have been told is the strongest in history, been demonstrated is the strongest in history, the strongest characters say is the strongest in history, doesn't die immediately to the power of friendship. Spider-Man, who is tiered at hypersonic speed, cannot stop Gwen Stacy from hitting the 2-mad.
Good night, girl. I'll see you tomorrow.
That is not an anti-feat. That is character progression. Let's talk about cannons. I like cannons. They go boom. In the context of power scaling, canon simply refers to whatever the author has deemed official. A story's canon to a power scaler is held in higher regard than the Bible, which is ironic considering they only care about the parts of the canon that refer to punchy kicky. But then that poses a question. What do we consider canon? For anime and manga, pretty straightforward, point A to point B, whatever the author has deemed as canon. Video games get a little bit wonky because do we only take what's happening in cutscenes or dialogue? Or do we believe that Nathan Drake has killed tens of thousands of people in pursuit of ye old lean cup?
Hey, I'm Nathan Drake!
And when it comes to comics, my brain liquefies into a tasty soup because there's 10 million different stories, 8,000 reboots, countless authors and character iterations, and my higher functioning has stopped working, and I have soiled my pants. So what do we go with? Do we take all of the iterations? Do we only focus on one? Or do we cherry pick the feats that make our favorite character look better and ignore the aspects that would make them lose? Now you might be asking, what gives me the right to speak on power scaling like I'm some sort of authority? Power scaling is just an idea, and one person isn't able to dictate that all of it is bad. And I'm glad you said that, because in my story, Flazefire in Another World with 14 Werewolves, it is said that I am the smartest, and the strongest, and the most handsomest, and also I am never wrong. And if for some reason you think you can counter that by saying, that's not how power scaling works, you can't do that. Well, tough luck, chuckle fuck. I've had 72 years of prep time. Ethereal ghost hands. Remove their urethra. I'm going to put an end to the power scaling debate forever and finally decide who is the strongest character in fictional history. You are going to hate me because it's true, but based on all of the feats, all of the canon that you power scalers hold so dear, the strongest character in history is John Fortnite. He has survived black holes that have destroyed reality on a multiversal scale, was instrumental in the defeat of entities the likes of which Gojo, Superman, Mr. Beast were incapable of beating on their own. When all of these multiversal, faster-than-light characters were unable to escape the loop, Fortnite Jonesy was. When a creator signs their soul away to Epic Games, their characters are added to the Fortnite lore, therefore, they must adhere to the Fortnite canon. There is official DC and Marvel Fortnite crossover comics.
Batman Fortnite.
There is official Fortnite collaborations. This is all canon. It's so stupid, but it's true. And if we're talking only gameplay, then at any given time, any character has the potential to be the strongest. All that matters is who finds a shield pot and a golden pump first.
Right foot creep, boom.
Power scaling as a concept is fine. When it's just you and your buddies, it can actually be kind of fun. But the second you start arguing with strangers over why your fictional character is better than theirs, and you start doing college-level research into why theirs would lose, well then I'm sorry, but you lose my respect and are government mandated to take a shower. I have a channel member program you should join. It gets you nothing and gives me money. I also have a Discord you can join and a Twitter you can follow, both of which are great ways of losing in a debate to me.
I shit it in my pants. I am for real. Never meant to make my booty shit. I apologize, I shit my pants. I shit it in my pants.